How's it going today?
Pretty darn good. Thank you very much. How about you?
I'm doing all right. So I want to start from the very beginning and ask how the band got started.
Yeah, totally. Well, the band's just me and my brother. So, we started the band together in 2007, and at the time we were kind of like, we'd both been into heavy metal since the very beginning, but at that time we were kind of playing. Maybe it's like a little less cool to hang out with your brother when you're in high school. So we were playing with in different bands with our different buddies, and then at some point we sort of realized we should be playing heavy metal together because as my brother, we were the ones that kind of agreed the most on what we wanted to sound like and what we wanted to do. So we started off then, and then for the first little while, it was just us, and we actually went into the studio and recorded a bunch of demos, just the two of us. And then for long period in the middle, we had another fella involved. But nowadays, it's just back to the two of us again, just kind of as it was when it started out.
Cool. And what's it been like with just you two?
Honestly, it's been great. Um, Al's so easy for me to communicate with. Like we're on the same page about so many things, and it's like we can kind of like if one of us has an idea that we feel really strongly about, we can kind of push it and kind of know where that line is, so it doesn't like blow up in our faces, or we get frustrated with each other sometimes, but it's never like past the point where it's not going to be fine tomorrow, sort of thing.
Cool. And I've read that for your new album, Tragic Magic, that you guys actually wrote and recorded all the stuff your guys selves. Was that like the first time you guys have done that?
We didn't record it all of ourselves. I mean, we recorded demos ourselves, but of course, we wrote everything ourselves. We always do that. But we recorded with our good pal Felix Fung, who has a fantastic studio in New Westminster, BC, called Little Red Sounds, and we've done the last few albums with him. He's just great to work with. He's not like a metal guy per se, so he kind of comes with this different perspective, which makes it super fun.
Cool. And speaking of the new album, it's called Tragic Magic and it comes out later this month. I want to ask what the album's about.
Yeah, great question. Um, I guess when we were thinking of Tragic Magic, Al actually came up with a name, and we were just talking about all the different lyrical concepts. It's kind of a lot of the songs are about some of the kind of more real and difficult stuff that's been happening to us over the last few years. I mean, it's been a challenging few years for everyone for a million reasons. Life's not getting any easier for me or for anyone I've met really. So like, there's been tragedies along the way. Like, family members have died. We've been faced with some health stuff that's scary and difficult, and it just kind of felt like trite or like immature to write an album that's just about like a bunch of fantasy bullshit. So we felt it was important to kind of get a little more real on this one and kind of talk about the stuff that's kind of the scariest and most difficult to us. So to us, that's kind of tragic magic. It's like the stuff that's outside of your control that you can't necessarily understand, that is difficult, tragic.
Fair enough. Yeah, I know you touched on the health problems, and I saw that Al actually had surgery on his spine earlier this year. So I want to ask,
Yeah.
how is he doing these days?
He's doing a lot better. I mean, that was kind of a long time coming. Well, although at the time that it came, it was quite a surprise. We were right in the middle of recording the album, and he'd been playing guitar for like 12 hours straight. And then we had a good session, wrapped up the day, high fived and went home. And then the next morning, he's like, I got a call from him, and he was like, I can't move. I didn't sleep all night. He wasn't able to lie down. He wasn't able to stand up. He was just, as soon as he got home and got out of the car, I guess it was just this agonizing suffering. And he discovered that he had a whole bunch of ruptured discs in his spine,
Oh gosh.
uh, which is pretty bad. So he had to, and he went into the doctor, and at first they like didn't realize what it was, and they were just like, "Oh, take some ibuprofen, you'll be fine." So he did that for a few days, but he didn't sleep at all for like 4 days or something like that. I wish he was here to talk about it. Until eventually he was like, "No, I need to do something." Like he couldn't, there was no position for him that was not agonizing. So then he got into the immediate surgery, and it was actually pretty amazing how quickly we were able to get back on the album. It was fairly serious surgery, but he sprang back pretty fast.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm happy to hear that. I wanted to check in. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, the funniest one with regard to that was luckily he'd recorded all the drums before that happened, but it was like I mean, I'm no spinal scientist, but like it had impinged some of the nerves in his spine, which went down to his feet. So for
Oh
like
gosh.
quite a few months after that, and still to an extent, he wasn't able to move his feet. in the way you need to play the drums. So actually, I was just talking to him last night, and he went down to rehearse, and he was saying finally he's kind of getting back to normal. But for a while, it was like he couldn't play the double kick. He couldn't play the kick pedals at all.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, I'm happy he's okay. Yeah, at least for the
Thank you.
band's sake too, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, you guys are called Spell, and the album's called Tragic Magic. So I figured to
Mhm.
ask, like, are you guys into any sort of witchcraft, spooky stuff, or?
Yeah, I mean, I we get asked that question a lot, as you can imagine, but it's a valid question. I believe that in immediate practical sense, music is the most real form of magic that I can ever imagine. I mean, it's like when you think about music, what is it really other than like maybe some sort of vaguely mathematical vibrations in the air? And yet, and some words, magic words, if I may. And yet it has the power to totally change our lives. Like people can go from it can make someone go from happy to sad. It can, totally overtake their emotion. I mean, it totally changed the course of my life. Like I think many people would probably be quite different if it wasn't for the music in their lives. So it just is this sort of ephemeral thing that like floats through the air and yet can basically alter our perceptions of reality and change the course of all of our lives. So if that, and also the fact that it's not really something that's like, really understood very well by science. Like I'm sure some people have some ideas about things, but it's not like there's some scientific theory that explains exactly why music makes us feel the way it does and how it works. So if that's not magic, then I don't know what is.
Awesome. So that's the magic you believe in, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's the
Uh,
magic I've devoted my whole life to the craft of it.
heck yeah, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so speaking of spooky, do you guys have any Halloween plans? You're gonna dress up? Do you have traditions?
Yeah, good question. I love Halloween. It's kind of funny. I love Halloween, but I don't actually really love dressing up that much. I mean, I don't dislike it. I always dress up. But dang, my favorite Halloween thing to do in Vancouver is because you're from Vancouver as well,
I
is that right?
am, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Is the Stanley Park Halloween train.
Oh, cute,
But
yeah.
it's not running this year. There's some problems with the train, so
Oh,
I was pretty bummed. I also like the Burnaby Halloween Village. It's pretty spooky and good. Um, Beyond that, I'll see what pops up this year.
awesome. And it's kind of random, but I figured because you guys are called Spell, I would ask you, are you any good at spelling?
Yeah, well, as it happens, by day I'm an elementary school teacher.
Oh,
So
cool.
people often ask me if the name is somehow named after that. I started the band before I became a teacher, so no. But it could be. I don't give my students spelling tests very often. In fact, I try to not mark them on their spelling because I don't really care about that. I'd rather just have them writing without feeling impinged.
Cool, that's a good way to think. And my
Yeah.
last question is, what's next for you guys?
Yeah, well, immediately we're going to start rehearsing. So it's just the two of us, but we're getting some more band members in here. We've got one good friend of ours, Gabriel, who also plays in another local band called Girlfriends and Boyfriends, which is awesome. And he played synthesizers with us on the album. And he's joining up. He's going to play guitar and synths. And then another friend of ours is also joining on guitar. So we're going to grow from a two-piece to a four-piece. And then we are planning on doing some shows. We're going to be going down to play Hell's Heroes Festival in Texas. We're going to be going to play Muskul Rock Festival in Sweden.
Ooh,
And we might have some other international stuff. But also we plan on doing a local show. I don't know exactly when. But yeah, some shows will be happening. And then in a broader sense, we've been doing this for a while now, and I feel pretty confident when I say that we've been getting better at it. Like, all of our albums have been, I really do believe, better than the ones before it. And, they're getting better feedback, getting better reviews, getting, more people interested in stuff. So I think, like, as long as we're, enjoying it and continuing to improve, we're going to keep doing it as hard as we can. So, please expect another album from us in a couple of years that will be even better.
awesome. I will keep my eyes peeled. And I'll
Great.
look out for that Vancouver show too. I want to see you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know when exactly or where, but hopefully this year. That's the intention.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for chatting with me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having us, and
Yeah, no worries.
thanks for having me. And yeah, hopefully see you around the city.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna let you go.
Okay, doke.
And this. All right, bye.
Have a great night.
You too.